Hello everyone. I'm going to talk about the Article 11 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, which is all about the accountability of the public officers. So it is important that the one who governs us must also be a law-abiding citizens because they are the role model of the people or of the citizens. And also, overall, the Article 11 talks about the punishment of the public officers in cases they commit violations and those who are liable for impeachment. Section 1 of the Article 11 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution means that the public officers must also live their modest life just like the regular citizens, and also they must be responsible and trustworthy role models of our society. So let's proceed to the Section 2. So what is the Section 2 also about? So it talks about the impeachment. First of all, what is impeachment? Impeachment is the process by which persons who possess positions in the government can be held accountable for causes closely related to their conduct as public officials. Also, impeachment is the punishment in which they would get removed from their positions. The public officers can be impeached are the President, the Vice President, members of the Supreme Court, members of the Constitutional Commissions, and the Ombudsman. Other public officers are punished the same as the regular citizens as stated in the law, and grounds for impeachment are culpable violation, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, other high crimes, and lastly is betrayal of the public trust. Next is the Section 3. Section 3 basically discusses the process of impeachment. First is the filing of impeachment. So, a regular Filipino citizen can actually file an impeachment to a public officer, but it must be sponsored by a congressman or a member of the House. Usually, the congressman himself files an impeachment to a public officer. This means that it all starts in the House of Representatives. Second is the referral of the House Speaker. Third is the inclusion in order of business. Fourth is the referral to the House Committee on Justice. After that, the committee would then conduct hearings. After the findings of the committee, they would then submit a report. Then the House would then vote whether the complaint would proceed to trial or not. Lastly is the impeachment trial. The impeachment trial will then commence if the House decided that the trial should proceed. Of course, the trial will decide whether a public officer will be impeached or not. So what are the effects of conviction of impeachment? So first is, of course, the removal from office. And second is the disqualification to hold any other offices in the Republic of the Philippines. And lastly is that the convicted party or the convicted public officer shall be liable and subject to prosecution, trial, and punishment according to law. Section 4 of the 1987 Constitution basically discusses the Sandigbayan. It is the present anti-graft court of the Philippines. They actually conduct hearings involving graft and corruption. Next is the Section 5. Section 5 discusses the Ombudsman, also known as the Tanod Bayan of the Philippines. Their role is to make accountable those public officers that commits crimes, especially graft and corruption, by investigating them and prosecuting them. And Section 6 states that the officials and employees of the Office of the Ombudsman, other than the deputies, shall be appointed by the Ombudsman according to the Civil Service Law. And Section 7 basically states that the Tanod Bayan shall be known as the Office of Special Prosecutor. They shall continue to exert their power except those who have been moved to a higher position. Next is the Section 8. Section 8 talks about the qualifications of Ombudsman and his deputies. So, the Ombudsman and his deputies shall be a natural-born citizen, at least 40 years old, must be of recognized probity and independence, and a member of the Philippine Bar. In other words, a board passer or a bar exam passer. And he must not be a candidate for election for the preceding election. Lastly, he must be a judge or attorney for at least 10 years or more. Section 9 then discusses the appointment of the Ombudsman and his deputies. So they are appointed by the President himself from list of 6 nominees and 3 nominees for every vacancies thereafter. All vacancies shall be filled within 3 months after it occurred. Next is the Section 10. Section 10 discusses the rank and salary of the Ombudsman and his deputies. They shall be ranked of chairman and members of the constitutional commissions, and their salary shall not be decreased during their term of office.